Hello, it's Melody. Welcome to A Saner Spin, episode 28. This week I am in New York. I came here to give a talk, to give a keynote at the last stop on the DBSA, Depression and Bipolar Support Alliance's Ida tour. I was really happy to do it. I gave a keynote for the first talk in Colorado Springs, so it felt great to be able to be here in New York for the last stop on the tour this year. It's all about moving from illness to wellness and isolation to community, which I'm all about. And whenever I have the opportunity to do something with or for DBSA, I jump at the chance because this happens to be an organization, and I think I've mentioned it before on the vlog. It's a peer support organization, peer-led. These are support groups that I went to religiously for the first 2 years after I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and I think it made all the difference, especially for me, because at the time therapy wasn't working. So I went to these support groups, truly saved my life. In Atlanta for 2 years, there was a great group leader named Steve Propst who writes a column in BP magazine like me, so we both have a regular column in the magazine, so it feels good to be at least still with him on that end. But he was fantastic, and DBSA as an organization, I can't say enough good things about them. So I feel very indebted to them as an organization, so whenever I can do something with them, I jump at the chance because I really do pay and owe this huge debt to DBSA and love the work that they're doing. So had a great time, spoke at the New York Public Library for the Performing Arts in Lincoln Center, which is a beautiful space, and met some wonderful people. And I thought this week it would make sense to talk about the value of peer support. There is a lot of great data, and this is why I first went to my first support group, because I had just been diagnosed with bipolar. I came out of the hospital after a psychotic break and manic episode, and the last thing I wanted to do was go to another support group. But my husband Matthew, who is a very research data-oriented person, had done all the research and said, oh, the data is so good for support groups in terms of recovery, you have to go. And I thought, it's going to be like the ones in the hospital, and I don't want anything to do with that. And the ones in the hospital were usually led by mental health professionals, and there was a kind of hierarchy there that doesn't exist in the peer support groups. And I found that what was so valuable about the DBSA support groups that I attended in Atlanta was that I could learn vicariously. Like I didn't have to make the same mistakes as other people because I could learn from the mistakes that they had made. And likewise, I could learn from the successes that they had had. So I knew how to manage this illness a lot better by watching other people do it. So it was a huge asset, and they didn't charge me a cent for it, which is extraordinary, right? So that's partly why I'm so committed to working with them. You may notice I'm wearing this pin. It is for an I'm Here campaign that I'll be talking about a little bit more later, but just this is a preview. Feel free to go to dbsalliance.org and you can learn more about that campaign and a lot of other campaigns that they have and about support groups in your area. I highly encourage you to, especially if you're someone like me for whom therapy has not worked in the past. It is something that worked for me. So anyway, I hope that helps, and I will be back hopefully